Hi, welcome back to True Story with John Gibson. Today we have Lior Ofir. Lior is a ex-Navy SEAL, BJJ black belt, and IBJJF world champion, and co-founder of STANDSTRONG, an amazing nonprofit organization. Lior, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, hey, my pleasure, 100%. Lior is in many ways a mentor to me, dear friend. Super passionate human being, very motivating. So this is everybody's privilege. I'm so happy to be able to kind of share a little of his message, help him share some of his message with us. With that, Lior, just for some context, do you mind sort of sharing a little bit about your military background and all the way through the Israeli Navy SEAL program and just sort of your foundation there?
Yes. So as a 16 years old in Israeli, it's mandatory to serve for the IDF. My entire childhood, I really like sports, and I was, relatively pretty athlete for my size. And then basically just a year before, so 18 years old, you started, after high school, basically you're starting right the service. And then you always have an interview when it started, like where you want to serve. And I didn't know. I just asked her, what is the most challenging course you can offer?
Wow.
And she's like, no, seriously, like what, and I said, listen, if I'm already spending three years of my life that it's mandatory, let it be, worthwhile for my time. And she said, of course, the Shayetet 13, which is the equivalent to the American Navy SEALs. And I told her, okay, that's what I want to do. That's pretty much how it all began. Fast forward from that, then you have trials. You have different trials that they're basically taking like all the teenagers that capable, and I'm talking about a year before actually you started to serve for the IDF, and you're starting some days of in the field that they're just trying to literally break you or see your physical capabilities and kind of like test you. And then from there, around you have 10,000 or 15,000 teenagers that starting those days. They selecting around 400 or 500 to start the trials specifically for the Israeli Navy SEALs. So this is how you find yourself one day in the Israeli Navy SEALs for a full week of them literally trying to break you, see how tough you are mentally, see how smart are you solving problems, all those kind of things. They throw at you like different tasks, and it's not just physically, but obviously this is like a huge factor in the water and on in the field. And then from this week, I remember I had actually like a moment there that I remember I find myself, I'm pretty, I'm not a huge guy, as you know, I'm like 150 pounds, 5'7", and then I'm kind of like looking all the guys around me, and man, I'm like pretty much like the smallest guy over there. And all those 500 people, they already completed the days that I completed. So like, I know they're tough, right? So I said, man, there is no chance. And then at this pivoting moment, I said to myself, listen, if you don't want it, don't like go for a day, say, wow, I did like a day of and I didn't feel so good, I have whatever. If you don't want it, go now to the beach. They have the most beautiful coast, I'm sure, in the Middle East, but like in general, like Thailand beach, because nobody else can destroy it pretty much. It's closed. And then I told myself, go there, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just look at the sun, enjoy the beach that nobody can enjoy, and leave. Don't pretend. And I tell myself, you know what? I told myself, like, if I'm on it, even if you cut one of my limbs, I'm gonna finish this week like the best I literally can. And so out of these 450, around 40 people or 45 people actually got accepted, or I would say passed these trials. And then after you pass these trials, you're starting the service, which is around like only the course itself. It's 2 years of like specific things for the Navy SEALs, you know, from diving to all the other expertise you need to have as a Navy SEAL. And we finished, my team and we finished out of these 45, we finished 15 guys. Everything. So you're starting with 15,000 and finish with 15 guys. So it's this 1% that they're talking about. You know, the more I progress with the trials or with the course or with the stages, I learn how easy the other stages were.
Interesting.
And it's not a cliche, just it's a build up of intensity and a build up for expectations from yourself, from others. And it's actually interesting because now if you ask me, you know, now if you put me in the trials, for instance, for this week, man, I'm doing it easy peasy, which is like crazy to say because it's like one of the hardest trials in the world, which, you know, and this is
proven to yourself you can do that. You already know.
Exactly. It's kind of like I cracked the matrix. I know I'm capable. So just, you know, so it's funny how it works, but it's true. And then you know, if you're serving in the Israeli Navy SEALs, your mandatory becomes 5 years, roughly, just, you know,
it just increases. Wow.
Yes. I've been many times under fire, but everything I did, full heart, I believe that was the right thing to do, trying to protect Israel. And I think we were very, very kind with the other side, which although it sounds a little bit crazy, but yeah, it's also our job to do the right thing.
That's not just humanity. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, it was pretty intense and it was amazing experience. I remember myself probably a day after I finished my whole service, I became a citizen of the world again. I said, man, I have more experience than probably like most of the 80 years old people out there. And I'm proud of it.
You read my mind. I was thinking to myself, how old were you when you got out? 23, 24?
So 23, yes.
So you had seen the world. You'd been under fire. You had achieved
multiple times
1% life thing between the trials, becoming I mean, you'd had these huge life accomplishments, and then you come out and now you have to learn how to live in the world. It's crazy. Like, wow. So what was that transition like? Is that what sort of led you? Well, yeah. What was it like coming out and then maybe finding BJJ? Were they one and the same or not coincidental at all?
So I did like different martial arts before my service, but you know, as like nothing as professional or very consistent. I did judo, I did like other things, but I actually learned Krav Maga, which I'm sure you're familiar with in some part or you heard. Krav Maga is very straightforward. Do whatever works more effective or more. I don't know if lethal is the word, but just more effective for the moment. The problem is that it's not a sport, so I don't call it martial arts, although you know some people do, especially in America. It's kind of like just a self-defense system. It's a system, like do all the nasty stuff or poke the other person's eyes if necessary, if he's trying. So this is where I introduced the Krav Maga like really deeply, and I kept doing it for a few years after my military service. Then I just wanted to take it to more like sport things, so like more for the fitness and more for myself, like you know how much I can do this intensive mindset of whatever. And this is when I introduced actually with the Jiu-Jitsu. In fact, my first time in a Jiu-Jitsu class, seriously, I was the worst students in the world. I was like, I don't like all this grappling crap. It's not for me. There is no reason to be on the floor. So literally, and I spoke today with my coach back then in Israel. I was really bad students the first class, and then my friend that introduced me the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, he told me, listen, you came like with like not a good approach. Just come, and I told him, let's train. And he told me, come over to my gym again, but now just be an open-minded, like, fine, we got it. So you don't want the ground, but you want to train. So come and train in our terms.
Sure.
So I said, you know what? Okay, let's do it again. Let's try it again. I'll just come and listen instead of be this guy that knows everything all the time. And then really I kind of like something popped, and I really saw, I was rolling, I was drilling with this like 16 years old, and I'm like in Israeli Navy SEALs, and I knew I tough and athletic and in good shape, and he choked me. And I said, listen, there is something here I don't know, and I have to explore this field. So I started to do jiu-jitsu, but at the same time I did like MMA also. Kind of like in between, because I didn't want to give up on entirely my striking.
Sure.
I did it for a very short period of time, and then I learned that this is an opportunity, because I started to fall in love in jiu-jitsu. The best thing I love about it, it's first of all, it's problem solving. So it's all about, you have to solve problem live with your body.
Yes.
Here and now, basically.
Yes.
There and also another thing that I really like, it's like infinity. There is always something new to learn. There is endless positions you can be at, endless thing you can do, endless counters you can do, which is related to the problem solve. So I said, my entire life, I did all kind of sports. I was great. I was very good in everything, but never great in anything, because I never focused my talented in one thing, from a child that playing one year soccer and then the other year, swimming and then basketball. Like I was good in everything I did, but never I was never professional. So I said, now it's the time. I love jiu-jitsu. I'm going to do only jiu-jitsu.
Wow.
So I moved forward. I left behind all this, all the striking and other things. And I was literally training like 2-3 times a day, for like 2 hours every time. So I found myself like 5+ hours a day on the mat as a white belt. And, I just improved exponentially due to my approach and due to my, the intensity and everything. And this is where, what grew me. And remember, so I moved to the US like 6 years ago, and I got my black belt just the day before I moved, because my coach, I was training for 2 years, so intensively. And I came to the US as a blue belt, but as an amazing blue belt already.
Yeah.
So a year after, I already got the purple belt, and then,
I mean, and you went on to, win world championships in no gi and be an extraordinarily popular competitor, in my opinion, at least. So exciting. I will never forget watching I think it was Fight to Win. And you got such a quick submission from an arm lock. It was just one of the most exciting matches I had ever seen. Anyway, your style is just so great and cerebral, and this isn't about me, and I've told this story before, but my first day in jiu-jitsu was first class, I should say. So I had taken privates with our instructor, Jay Balco. I'd taken privates with him for about a month and learned basic fundamentals. This is guard. This is, a triangle. This is armbar. But I went to my first class, and Lior was there, and everybody was very kind to me. And I was a very spazzy white belt. I just didn't know better and had a wrestling background. So I was very aggressive. And I looked at Lior, and as he self-described, 155 pounds. And I was heavier at the time than I am now even. And I never thought I was going to beat him or choke him or finish him in anything, but I definitely thought I was going to be a handful, and I just was not. And he tapped me out 9 times, and it wasn't even about the finish. The 2 thoughts that made me fall in love with jiu-jitsu day one, it was rolling with this man, and it was 2 very distinct thoughts. It was, and I remember them vividly. It was, wow, he knew where I was going to go before I went there, and I didn't know where I was going to go. Like a total step or 2 ahead. It was just checkmate, 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 which was the most impressive thing ever. And then the second thought was, he didn't hurt me. He didn't hurt me one bit. And we got to finishing. We got to a lockout. We got to a choke. We got to here. He climbed me up and 9 times. And afterwards, I was fine. He was so gentle. And there was that also made me fall in love with it. It made me.
And I apologize also after every time you tap too.
Every time. Yeah. And kept going.
Sorry. You're fine? All right. Yeah.
Oh, totally fine. Absolutely. And I mean, it made me fall in love with jiu-jitsu. It made me think man, I just want to learn a black belt's so far away. I just want to learn how to do that to a guy like me. That's it, you know? And you were such, I mean, a living inspiration in that way. And maybe transitioning, this is a good way to sort of transition to that. I feel you, another way for me anyway, you've been kind of a living inspiration, is I've been on the peripheral and had the benefit of watching you work, train all day, win a world championship, come home, work through the night, and then found or co-found Stand Strong. And then now it just seems to be in such short amount of time, in less than maybe 2 years or so, I'm not sure, but or 3, thriving, and you're growing so much. Can you share a little bit about your mission and what that journey has been like?
Yeah, so it's funny. This is actually after one of the operations. This is what my moment, that understanding that I'm not materialistic person, pretty much. So after, at some point in as a service, you become from like a mandatory, the 3 years is mandatory in the service, that you're making like around $200-300 a month as a soldier.
Wow.
You become like, actually you finish the 3 years and then you become like working for the government and not owned by the government, pretty much. So you start to make like $3,000 a month, from like 10 times more.
Wow.
So I remember after one of the operation, it was very chaotic and a lot of action. We came back to our base, everybody were safe and sound, and one of my teammates asked me, if I will pay you double for what we're making now, will you do this operation again? And I said, absolutely out of the question, no. And but we just did it, right? So the thing is, I learned that, some people are almost, in their life, almost dying or got, disease or something, God forbid. And then they started to understand that, man, I have to make sure that my life worthwhile, that I'm doing something meaningful. I have to do something that is amazing. And then I learned, this is kind of like what I did with myself. I don't know how, but I told myself, okay, let's assume tomorrow you have all the money in the bank, all the money in the banks in your bank account. You can do whatever you want. You can buy the whole city, every building in the city. You can buy every vehicle that you want. Okay, what will you do next? Okay, let's assume this, because I just told myself that I'm not going to do something that I just did. Right. And then I said, and then even when I ask people, the first answer, man, I will buy a Ferrari, I will buy a Lamborghini, I will buy a new house. Fine, you did it. What next? Right. I will travel for okay, I'm asking for how long? 1 year? Okay, 2 years, 3 years on me. Okay, what else? You travel, you saw the entire globe, every corner on this planet. What else? And then it's interesting, because this is like the moment when they understand actually what is their answer. Because at this point they start to say, some people say, I want to open a shelter for injured animals. I want to open a huge zoo when the animals are wild. And I want to help kids, I want to help education, I want to help soldiers, I want any kind of thing, injured people. And then you see actually that most of the people, their answer, the ultimate answer is to give to others. Right. So I said, probably I'm not going to have the entire, money in my bank account but I'm not going to be a multi-time billionaire, which hopefully I will, but it's not the goal, because the goal is, once you're there, what you're going to do with your life, what meaningful you're going to do. Yeah. The purpose, right? So I said, okay, let's live like I have this purpose. And what I found out, and this is how I also started to Stand Strong, but what I found out, that even in a selfish way, the best feeling in the world is to give to others. It's just the best feeling in the world, And then I said, what I can solve on this planet that I can be great at, not just good. I want to be great at something that can be meaningful for others and meaningful for me. And I found out that, as even a teenager, the martial arts, or being, after my service, I had this self-confidence and self-esteem. There is no way you will ask me a question and I won't have an opinion on. And even if you are right, I'm still going to say what I think, or still going to give you like a review of your answer. So I said, some of those kids especially now with with the social media bullying and everything, they just never had the courage. Nobody actually told them, listen, like, we want to hear your opinion. Your opinion matters, and you have to speak up for what you think is right, and you're true, and for who you are and what you believe. And this is kind of, like I said, the best thing about, in my opinion, about teaching self-defense, which is, like, again, what we're doing, is two things. First of all, you're helping people to feel they are more safe and they have physical capabilities. Like, like the story we've been rolling, you said, oh man, this guy knows so many things, right? I mean, he's 2 steps ahead of me for every move I do. So this is amazing skills to have as an individual. Now, the best thing about martial arts, which people don't know, is, and I like all kind of sports, is that once you learn something, a move, a submission, or an escape from a submission, you will never forget it. Now, yes, you always need to drill it to kind of like have it do it smarter or faster or sharper, but you will never forget it. So it's skills that goes with you like for your entire life. So this is amazing. And then the second thing that come with those skills is the mental toughness or capabilities of actually be able to, I can grind, I'm capable of, and I'm strong, and it builds your self-esteem and self-confidence. So I think, especially with the generation today, the new generation, that they're all in front of the screens, they're all day on top of the coronavirus. It was even before, and now it's just escalated. I think it's a huge part of, our childhood was play outside with your neighbors. Right. And they don't even know what are you talking about, so I think this is really a privilege for me to be able to provide them those capabilities of be safe. As a father, the first thing you need to make sure, like, I need to make sure my child doesn't fall from the bed, like literally, right? Even before you ask what kind of milk you're gonna buy in the grocery, right? Right. And then the second thing is this great feeling, because I think everybody should have we should hear everybody's voices, and it's so important to give them, a confident child is more successful human being. Yes, that's bottom line.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, I wish this foundation existed when I was a child. I mean, I felt that way about it from the beginning, because I learned a lot of these lessons on my own, kind of, and with little mentorship, but through adversity and trial and error and a lot of luck. I wish that I had a fundamental program and something I could participate in daily, multiple times a week at minimum. And it not only would help build me physically, like you said, to your point, but giving those tools of self-defense inevitably gives self-confidence. And for somebody who was like me, that's out there, especially as a kid, that was scared of his own shadow, I needed that, so it's just, it's cause, and it's a foundation. I'm so passionate about it. It's so exciting. And even more than children, I feel like you're providing content to women, men, anybody that's untrained that could use some self-defense, it's pretty life-changing.
Right. And like in Stand Strong, this is why I was very lucky to find the right, I would say, partners or now executive boards, philanthropists in general. And they're amazing individuals. They care about this mission. They see this as like a must, especially today when bullying, it's kind of like, it's a trend. Like, you see people are actually bullying other kids and uploading those videos, those clips to social media, and happy for that. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is, you just committed like a crime, right? I mean, and like you kind of like proud of it. And bragging, so the bullying and all the anti-Semitism and all those stuff that you see now based on ignorance and lack of education. I think what I was like, the best thing about Stand Strong that I love, in addition to everything we mentioned, everything we do is completely at no cost. We're not charging a one dime for one of our students. We not even ask them for donations. We have big donors that supporting this mission, drive it forward, and these people just care about giving those skills to those kids. So basically, I don't think I can stop hatred or bullying, but we hope to give those skills to those people. So once they face this situation, they will know how to handle it. And for me, even there is a sentence in the Old Testimony, the Bible, that says, if you save one soul, it's like you save the entire world, because that's his entire world. Sure. And as a kid, you know how meaningful it is. Every individual that even show you one sentence in the right time when you need it was, man, this is amazing. So I really want that, Stand Strong, and we're working on it very hard. We want by the end of 2021, we are now already based in Chicago, although everything we do now it's online because the COVID, but the vaccine are zero already. So it's a matter of probably a few months, or we definitely see the light, around the corner. So we want to be in 3 major cities, which is South Florida, or should I say Miami, in Chicagoland, and LA. Oh, wow. Already in 2021, we're going to have a few instructors in every city, and they are going to run between everywhere that will need us. Schools. Actually, we already had with public schools, which is we had demos because they wanted to test it, but it was very successful. Community groups, churches, synagogues, campuses, camps, summer camps. Great. So these instructors will be 1% Stand Strong employees, and they will run between everywhere there will be demand for us, and they will go teach those skills with them. And I think what the most special about our program, the way I designed the curriculum, it's almost 50% of our curriculum. It's actually the messaging. So this is something I really, really, really kind of gave it a lot of thoughts. Is I'm not trying to scare people, which, by the way, a lot of the gyms that selling self-defense today, that's what they do. They kind of showing you a video of somebody was, carjacking or something like that. And man, you have to know what to do there. I don't think it's the right approach, especially when you're talking with kids. I don't want the kid will go to his mom. Oh, mom, this is why it might happen. No. So what I'm doing, I reverse it. Instead of kind of tell them, you have to know because something will happen. I have to say, I'm saying, if you will have it, nothing will happen. So you understand what I mean? So it's kind of instead of scare them up, I'm just telling them, listen, I want you to be ninjas. This is amazing feeling. Give them
more security from the beginning.
More security. That's all about that, and this is how you build the self-esteem and self-confidence. And luckily, again, we have surveys with I think in the last 6 months, we've been teaching 3,500 people, which is already amazing. A significant amount of people. By the end of 2021, we aim to have 10,000, and then by the end of 23 to have 50,000 students already. Hopefully to keep
you'll make this. It for sure. Yeah, I think you'll surpass it. Yeah, for sure.
And we see in the survey that 93% of our students feel safer after our course. Yeah. So this is for me. Right? Yeah, this is for me amazing. You cannot. There is nothing else better feeling than that. So I think I believe Stand Strong going to be a huge player. If you're taking all the things in consideration, the people that behind this this mission, that's supporting this organization, what we provide, how we do things. I'm super passionate about it, and I'm hardworking individual, as you know.
Yes, of course. Yes. One of the hardest workers I've ever met, if not the hardest worker. I get compliments all the time, and I'm like, "Have you met Lior?" I just feel
it's for me not even working. I just bring it. I just want to do it, and again. I'm very lucky to to have Stand Strong and everything we're doing, and the people that's supporting it. We have amazing team. Every individual in the team will tell you exactly what I'm telling you now, that we're going to change the world. This is they genuinely believe in that. So this is amazing.
I believe you will. Where can people reach out to research more about Stand Strong or to contact you directly if they have questions or anything like that?
So first of all, we have the website, standstrong.org.
Okay.
As I said, everything, even the registration, signing to every course, everything is free. So basically, every individual need to register, and then they will have access to videos, how to drill techniques, our curriculum. Every single day we have other classes, and literally yesterday we had a new level Aleph, which is the basic level. We have like 2-3 levels that you're starting with. You know what I found out, and you can actually you can actually agree to that if you face it too. Sure. But most of the people not going to the gyms because they've been intimidated. Yes. Oh man, all those guys professional, they'll beat me at no time, and it will be embarrassing for me.
Sure.
So what we're doing is the first class or the first course is we are assumed that nobody did ever, even once in his life, any martial arts class.
That's so good though. Yeah, start them from scratch
with the best feeling. We explaining. I think it's all about expectations. We tell them, guys, you're not gonna be a black belt after this class. Right. You're gonna start only few moves or few basic techniques, foundations. Start to grow. Every class will learn you. So they understand also the process, because when you go to a gym, you don't understand the process. Yeah, you don't even know the color of the belts. Like what does it mean? You know, white belt and black belt. Right. But there is so much between that. Yeah. So much between that. So we tell them, like, you're not going to be a black belt. Don't expect yourself to be a black belt. It's going to be hard, but we're here to support you. If it's hard, slow down. If it's easy, maybe add a little bit more fitness. That's okay. And kind of like we really give them the place to rise and shine, you know, during
it's a very nurturing foundation.
Yes.
Setting expectations, like you said, slowly, but you're communicating the process, which is so helpful to anybody trying something new.
And what I was focusing is that every minute of your class, which is, so the first course is like 6 sessions on the Zoom, and then you have like around 4 hours that you don't have to, but you can watch like videos on our website, free again.
Great.
And every session, it's kind of like more techniques, more aspects of like self-defense concept, and it's really, it's not overwhelming, but every minute is like counts. So you're getting a lot for your time. There is no BS and there is no garbage time.
Yeah,
like boom, 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 boom. We understand that you're not in the best shape. Doesn't matter your gender, doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter your physical abilities, doesn't matter how even capable or I will say physical capabilities, or if you're a more goofy or whatever, you still will be able to handle, and you're going to get very good effective skills out of it. So
it's a win for everybody, because you can practice this in the safety of your own home. You know, the curriculum is applicable to all people, all bodies, all types of athleticism. And if nothing else, they're getting a good workout and skills to help keep them safe. There's just no reason not to. Yeah.
I can tell you the only people that will find this maybe program not relevant for them is like people that already have their black belts and they dedicate their life. But it's fine, because these guys already have the skills and the self-confidence that's come with it. So they literally don't need it. So so it doesn't matter, you know. And even then, if they will join, it's still a fitness, it's still a good exercise. So they will gain something out of it, definitely. So I really hope to open the martial arts, or I said these skills, to every individual that was always intimidated or always skeptical about yes or not doing it. So it should be available to everybody.
Yeah. And one thing too, it's also really important is that you are credentialed. You are a real instructor. You are a black belt. You are a world champion. I mean, you're not just somebody giving a self-defense course. You know, you're not just somebody that has some style or curriculum or that can market. You know, there's a real foundation of practical, you know, and you've been awarded. And tried, tested, and all that. So I think that, the foundation of your curriculum is something that should be taken pretty seriously, and it's something that it's probably different than and better than most out there.
And I'm proud to say that, first of all, I was always consulting with experts like, everyone to see also what they think about this curriculum. And also at the same time, I can tell you, because we aiming towards unexperienced people in many cases, I can tell you very proudly, even pre-COVID, we started Stand Strong before COVID, a little bit before, and we had in-person sessions. None of our students, and I'm talking about at this point thousands of people, even got injured once for any of our activities. Right. So it's really, you understand, which is a key, because they are, man, I don't want to, break my nose or be bleeding, and people don't like. So I really managed to design the curriculum to be super effective, but at the same time, the sole purpose is to protect you.
Yes. So safe. Yeah. I mean, in just that alone, in that statement alone, 1,000 different, different students at that point, accidents can happen just easily by fate.
Easily. Yes.
So to be able to plan a curriculum to kind of negate that as much as possible is just very smart and wise. Lior, we're coming a little up on time. I really want to thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing all of this and more of your story, background. Obviously, everything about Stand Strong. I think it's just an amazing organization with a powerful mission. Any words or anything you'd like to leave us with? Any kind of final words?
First of all, I wanted to thank you. I think your work is as or more important than even mine. So thank you for having me, and thank you for what you're doing. I think you're inspiration. I do believe in that. Again, I learned that being open mind, work hard, but come with the right attitude is what gonna serve us as individual. Every time when I do something, I'm thinking like, will my children will be proud of me, if I will do that or not. So I want to make sure that everything I do is meaningful, is impactful, helpful to other people. And there is no better feeling in the world, even in a selfish way, like, to be honest.
You said that earlier and I wrote it down. I've never said it. To me, those words were beautiful, Lior. I feel like I've never said that so well. Even in a selfish way, helping other people is the best feeling in the world.
Right.
Man.
I will give you an example that I learned from. So as I said, like, we have really amazing individuals that supporting our mission. This is why everything we do, it's no cost. And I see, these businessmen that supporting us, the philanthropists, they worked super hard their entire life. They probably more successful, or at least they succeed more than most of the individual out there. And you see, after all those years that they save all the money or invested all the money, and they try to make more money, which is just a good thing. This is how war should work. Now they take all the money that they gain and they give it away. So this is a lesson for us to also learn from that. If these guys are super smart, super successful, and they have the capability, and they managed to do it already,
right?
And now they're taking all their successes and give it to other people.
Right.
Why wait all this time to be 60 or 70 or 80 years old to give away everything you made? So I think it's all about balance in life. So I'm not gonna take my entire salary right now and try to somebody else, which is, again, it's amazing thing to do, but it's also not necessary, I think.
Right.
We can invest our time, even a few hours a day, to do something good for the planet.
And that's really important what you said. We're not all going to be, very few of us are going to be a millionaire. Less are going to be a billionaire, right? But we all have a couple assets that we can give away, and that's our time, and that's our passion. Or just dedicating something you enjoy, taking the class, dedicating the time to educate and empower yourself counts, not just but we all have different resources we can give. And it may not just be money, but you're an expert in self-defense. You're an expert in teaching as someone who's been one of your students, and you're an expert in martial arts, so you have this huge capacity of giving. So in your way, you don't have to wait till 60 to donate $1 billion or whatever,
Exactly.
You're giving now in your best way, with everything you have. And so are the other folks that contribute. And that's just as equally powerful,
I agree with you. And this is something I learned actually in the last couple of years of my life. Most of the people focusing on how they do things, or even some people think, more successful people or more thoughtful people thinking what they should do, and then they figure out to do it. And I think what we all need to ask us, even before these two questions, is why we're doing what we're doing.
Right.
And so it's kind of like the why, the what, and only then you figure the how, because you understand also why you're doing it and what you're trying to achieve, and then this is how we are going to achieve it. So I think this is like the biggest take for what you're saying. Just find, even if you want to give some of your time or your money to a good cause, which is nobody else can. This is what I'm doing for a living, pretty much. I think the most important thing is to find why you want to give away.
Right.
Find your sweet spot. So if it's animals, if it's the planet, green energy, anything that really kind of like intrigued you, or your passion, or you see the value in putting any time in it, or any thought or energy in that, and then kind of like break it down from there. Because once you find the why, everything else will fall in place.
It'll feel natural. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Because nothing feels better, even selfishly, than giving. It's
Exactly.
true. Yeah.
Exactly.
Man, thank you so much, Lior.
Thank you
so much for joining me. That was an episode of True Story with John Gibson. Thank you so much again, Lior.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a lovely day. Thank you, everyone.